You're listening to Chillworthy,
a podcast where two best friends discuss mysteries, murders, and anything in between for your enjoyment.
So if you're ready to hear some chilling and unsettling cases, you're in the right place. Happy listening. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chillworthy with Brent and Talia.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Okay, not bad.
Good.
So, what do you have to talk about?
First of all, as you know, I, over the past few years, have gotten increasingly more into the WNBA, women's basketball.
Okay.
And
I hate where this is going.
you're really going to hate it. So then, I don't know anything about men's basketball, but then the finals, I thought you might not, but then the finals started, and, Ashley's a big basketball fan, and she was talking about how the finals were going to start, and I was like, I want to watch that. That'll be interesting. Oh my God. I got so sucked in. It was Knicks and Spurs. Love the Knicks. And just so different than how the women play. It was just very fascinating to watch. And obviously it's finals energy, but still. So it ended last night. Knicks won the final. And it was just lovely. Of course, I couldn't stay awake to watch it until the end. So saw it today that they, won. And
sounds heinous. All right. Weirdly went through 3 books this week.
On a rule.
I guess. So the first one was called The Plot by Jean Korelitz. So this one is about a teacher who teaches creative writing at a college. He kind of had one successful book. Nothing ever happened after that. He's kind of disillusioned. Then this bastard of a student shows up, and he is basically saying, I have the best book ever in my head. This plot is so good, it's going to be incredible, blah, blah, blah. And he's he's basically I'm just here for the degree. But he's but I don't think anybody can teach me anything, whatever. They go over his book briefly. And then the student goes away, and the guy continues to check over the next couple of years to see if the kid ever published his book. Then he finds out that the kid passed away 3 months after he left school. So this guy writes the book himself as if he came up with the plot.
Oh.
And it's a huge, huge success. And, it's Oprah's favorite book, and, he gets all these accolades. And then he starts getting notes in the mail that say, you're a thief, you know what you did, blah, blah, blah.
This reminds me of that book that I read a couple years ago, Yellowface. I feel like there's definitely similar themes, I think.
So, it was fine. I'm not saying it was the best thing I've ever read by any means.
I don't feel terribly drawn into the description.
So that was that.
Yeah.
Then the other 2 books I read were by the same author, Nicola Sanders. So the first one is Don't Let Her Stay.
The Sanderson sisters.
I wish. The first one is Don't Let Her Stay. This was about a woman who marries an older gentleman, and they just had a child, and then his older daughter, who's 21, comes to visit, and things are just not good.
With her.
Right, with her. And
unstable Ursula.
She's gaslighting the woman, and
I thought you were going to say she's gassy.
I don't think so, but, and it's just, the little thing is someone inside your house wants you dead, but no one believes you. So, there's that. I gave it 5 out of 5 because I loved it. I thought it was fast-paced and wonderful.
Good for you.
Then the next one was Don't Believe Her, also by Nicola Sanders. And this one was decent, 4, but just,
Well, to me, decent is 3.
Fine.
4 would be
It was good.
Okay.
It just wasn't 5.
Okay.
And so this one is about 2 best friends. They're 17. One of the best friends runs away, is never seen again. Then the other best friend ends up getting engaged to the other best friend's brother. They move in with the mom of the best friend who ran away on an estate. And then 12 years later, the best friend shows up again, and everyone, is very excited to see her. And the best friend, who did not disappear, is like, this isn't her. Something's not right with this girl. Like, yeah, she looks like her, but this is not my best friend of 12 years ago. And of course, the fiance and mother are not interested in this opinion because, of course, they are happy to have their sister/daughter back.
Of course.
So,
that's all they can focus on.
Yeah. So anyway, that little blurb is everyone believes her except you.
That's what that's called? Oh.
No, don't believe her. That's what it's called, but that's just a little blurb. So, like I said, good, 4 stars.
So I said this, I think, in the last episode. You had recommended Next of Kin by Kia Abdullah, the audiobook about, 2 couples, 2 sisters and their husbands. And the one has a little son, I forget, 2 or 3 years old, I want to say. And he ends up getting left in the car. I don't want to give too much away, but you find out how that came to be, who exactly did it, how this all went down, and then it follows the court hearing, and then there's stuff after the court hearing that comes out. So I liked it. It was fine. I was saying to you as I was listening to it that it was very hard for me to wrap my head around it. Obviously there are people who do accidentally and also purposefully leave their children in the car in the summer. Mm-hmm. So I know that happens, but it was still hard for me to find it realistic. How does that happen? I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But then there's, I don't know if I'd call it a twist towards the end, but something happens. And then that definitely knocked me on my ass a little bit, which I enjoyed, but I still couldn't break out of a 3-star for it.
Fine.
Yeah. I'm in a 3-star rut at the moment. So that was the audiobook. I read Ghost Fish by Stuart
Little.
Pennebaker. What'd you say?
Stuart Little.
Well, and interesting, I forget if I talked about this yet on the podcast or I just talked to you about it, but I commented that the way this book was written, I wouldn't have guessed a man wrote it. I would have thought it was a woman, and Stuart is a woman. I was wrong on that.
Oh.
So I don't know if I don't know, but I liked it. It's strange, very strange for sure, but I liked how quirky it was. It takes place pretty much in Manhattan. But this girl is kind of an orphan that just doesn't have family. Everyone has passed away. It's very sad. And she wants to get out of her hometown. She wants to go into New York and live there and give it a shot. So she does. And then one day her sister comes to her in the form as a ghost in the form of a fish.
Oh,
I'm not giving anything away.
Yeah.
It was very strange, but good. It was very well written. I just didn't love it. It was fine. I also gave that 3. And then I think I told you about this, Almost Life by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I was so excited about this book. I forget how. I think it was actually Book of the Month where I first saw it, about 2 women and essentially their love affair over the years. It starts off in France and it goes back and forth between England and France. I was so disappointed by this book. I was so excited for it. The reviews were fantastic. I was so excited, and I felt it just fell flat. So also 3 stars.
Damn.
Now I'm reading The Boy in the Lake by Adam Pelsman. I'm sorry to say, I think that's going to be a 3-star. I'm not far. I'm at 40.
I'm sorry to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm at 40%. I'm not sure. It's about a Jewish family in Jersey. It starts off with the son who's essentially the narrator. He's 16 or 17, I believe. It's fine, and I'm hooked to see what the hell goes on. It starts that he finds a body in the water. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a murder mystery like I thought it was going to be. It's definitely like summery. It does go into other seasons, but there's like a lake house. It's fine. It's fine. We'll see.
Sounds fine.
Right. Did you ever read anything by Rachel Hawkins? I think we talked about her before. She wrote The Villa.
Girl on the Train? Did she write that?
No, that was Paula Hawkins.
Oh, then no.
She's a goodie. This is The Villa, Reckless Girls. I don't think you read that. The Heiress.
None of these.
The Wife Upstairs, I thought you did read.
No, but it's on my Libby list.
We did talk about this then. Okay, so she wrote that. I didn't read that one, nor do I want to.
Fine.
But this one is called The Storm, and in normal English, The Storm. It's good. I do really like it. This is a murder mystery. It's a little all over the place. It's normal chapter, then it goes to like, it has like an excerpt from like an article, like a newspaper article, or like this book that's being written. There's a lot of moving parts in this book, but it's not hard to keep track of. It's fine. But basically this town that is fictional in Alabama gets hit by I was going to say tornadoes, by hurricanes. Like it's, for whatever reason with its location, it gets slammed, and it's had really bad ones over the years. So, and they're known for this. So this like little hotel somehow does get damaged, but like has never been obliterated like a lot of the things in this town have over the years. It like stands. So in the 80s, there was a particularly bad hurricane, and in it, there was this like scandal going on, and this man was killed. And it's like back and forth. Did he die from the hurricane, like his injuries from that, or was he murdered? So like you find out what happened to the defendant and what ends up happening there. And then it like fast forwards to present day of like what's still happening kind of with that. So I really like it. Very good so far. And I'm at 60% in that. So we'll see. And then I started an audiobook called The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. That's been on my list for a long time. I was going to read and not listen to it, but then I thought nonfiction should be good as an audiobook. It's good. It's some man who was like this art thief for years, him and his girlfriend. I don't think they were married. And he was convicted. It doesn't sound like she was, but basically like he was not in this business to sell what he stole. Like he kept everything. Like he felt it was like classless for art thieves to like only steal to then sell on the black market. Like he wanted
his principles.
Exactly. So I'm liking it. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm like 9%, I want to say. So, but I like now it's been a few days and I haven't gone back to it. So I don't know. I will say, as much as like I've never listened to so many audiobooks until this year, I am enjoying it, but I miss listening to music.
Well, thank you for all of that.
Surely.
Hopefully you get some better reads.
Thank you. You know what? I don't need some 5 stars. I'm good with 4. I love a nice 4-star. But I would like to get out of my 3-star rut.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I have the case today.
Okay.
This is the mysterious death of Mitrice Richardson. Let's see here. Mitrice Richardson, she disappeared on September 17th, 2009, after leaving the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's Malibu/Lost Hills station.
Oh my God. I listened to a podcast on this. I was going to say her name sounded familiar, and I almost said to you, didn't you already do this case? I don't know if it's Serial or who the production company is. Erica listened to this podcast first, and then I listened.
Well, I guarantee you they'll do it better than I'm about to do it. So
this is an extremely sad case.
Everyone tune in to theirs.
Now, don't sell
I'm
yourself
just saying.
short. This is a good one. I mean, it's terrible, but it's very fascinating.
So she disappears. Nearly 11 months later, her remains were discovered in a remote part of Malibu Canyon. Her death remains officially undetermined, and more than 15 years later, her family, supporters, and many people who have studied the case still ask the same question: what happened to Mitrice after she walked out of that station? Mitrice Richardson was 24 years old. She was a black woman from Southern California, described by those who loved her as bright, vibrant, intelligent, and full of possibility. She had graduated from California State University, Fullerton, with a degree in psychology, and she had dreams that seemed connected to understanding people and helping others. She was the daughter of Latrice Sutton and Michael Richardson.
He participates.
Excuse me?
He participates in the podcast quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Him, and I believe an ex-girlfriend of Mitrice's. Very fascinating viewpoints.
She was loved by her family, and that was what spurred all of these relentless and demanding questions from them. Malibu is often associated with ocean views, wealth, celebrities, winding canyon roads, and beautiful isolation.
You should look up. Did you look up pictures
of Malibu?
Like this area?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I have pictures in my head, but I'm picturing Beverly Hills.
No.
You know, Troop Beverly Hills. They'll never make another movie like that.
No.
But you've never seen it.
I thought I did, and I didn't like it. Isn't that Marissa Tomei in it?
Shelley Long?
That was close. Yeah, I've
With
seen
the
it.
Girl Scouts?
I think Ashley likes that movie.
I love it. Anyway, so that isolation becomes something even much more isolated at night just because of how dark and whatever it is. So the Malibu Lost Hill Sheriff Station is not in the middle of a walkable city block with taxis and stores and all of that stuff. It's near canyon roads, dark stretches, and areas where someone unfamiliar with the terrain could very quickly become disoriented. So the night began on September 16th, 2009. According to reporting by the Los Angeles Times, Mitrice left work early from a freight company in Santa Fe Springs. Co-workers said she seemed excited. She later stopped at an aunt's house in Inglewood, but her aunt was not at home.
I've never heard you pronounce that word that way before.
Aunt.
I've only ever heard you say aunt.
Antsy. Later that evening. I mean, you're right. I guess I do switch it up, but aunt.
No problem. I'm just commenting.
Beetle.
I noticed. Beetle. Grasshopper.
Very nice.
Right. They're angels.
There was a huge moth that I accidentally brought into the
Oh,
house.
I thought you were going to say killed.
No, but I took him back out.
That was nice of you.
It was like one of those furry kinds.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those in real life.
Well.
Furballs. No, those are more like bumblebees. Anyway.
I always thought the Lunesta moth in those commercials was so beautiful.
I don't know what you speak of.
It's like that for that, what's it called? Ambient.
Is that a sleep medication?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, Lunesta, actually. Duh. That's what it was. But it was one of those moon moths or whatever with the green wings and the
Moon.
spots, and he's flying around like Rome or something. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's putting everybody to sleep. It's lovely. Anyway,
All right.
Give me some of that. She goes to her aunt's house, and her aunt's not there. She left behind business cards and a strange note to her uncle. Later that evening, she arrives at Joffrey's.
The restaurant.
Yes, a restaurant in Malibu.
I forgot that part. I looked that up on Google Maps to get my eyes on the lay of the land there. It's a big operation.
I'm sure. Joffrey's is the kind of place where people go for a good meal, an ocean view, and a sense of escape. That's what it says. For Mitrice, that evening would become the last confirmed sequence of events before she disappears. So, at Joffrey's, Mitrice ordered food and a drink. Reports state that she ordered a Cobb steak and an Ocean Breeze cocktail. And her final bill was $89, which, in this economy, sure, probably more.
Oh my God, that was right. Like almost 20 years ago.
Right. Which that's also insane what you've just said. It would be like, what, $250 now, maybe. Who knows? Witnesses describe her behavior as strange and erratic. According to later reporting, she joined another's party table, spoke oddly, and staff said she claimed that she was from MERS.
She was not good
No.
in this restaurant. Like that was very sad. Though, and if I'm not mistaken, the owner, possibly the manager, but I thought it was the owner. Probably the manager, because the owner wouldn't have necessarily been there. But participated in the podcast too and was talking about this entire ordeal that just was not good.
Well, as I said, if anyone's interested in this case, please tune in to the people who actually know.
I didn't mean it like
What
that.
I'm telling you. That's how I mean it. I'm not territorial of anybody. Listeners can go anywhere they want to get the scoop. As they should.
Right. And this case is so interesting. Like, I don't know. I sometimes wonder if, I've done this. If you listen to one podcast about a case, like to listen to others about the same case, just to see what other details they have, because not everyone focuses on the same stuff.
Right. No, I guarantee you nobody's going to talk about the Lunesta moth except me. That's what you get around here. So the restaurant eventually called the sheriff's department, not only because she could not pay, but because her behavior was very troublesome. So deputies arrive and they end up arresting her for failing to pay the bill. And I guess legally this is described as defunding an innkeeper.
Interesting. That's like the charge.
Yes.
Interesting.
And also for possession of a small amount of marijuana found in her car. A Honda Civic was impounded. Now this is also important. Her personal belongings, including her phone, purse, and wallet, were left in the vehicle. This would be one of the most heavily criticized details of the entire case because when Mitrice was later released, she didn't have access to the most basic things that people would need to get home safely. So deputies took Mitrice to the Malibu, Lost Hills Sheriff Station. During this time, her mother learned of the arrest and called the station. Her mother was worried. She reportedly told the deputy that she would come get her daughter if Mitrice was going to be released. In one chilling detail reported by the Los Angeles Times, Latrice expressed fear about waking up to a news report about a girl lost somewhere. According to records cited in the reporting, the deputy who spoke with Latrice did not tell the watch commander that Mitrice's mother had offered to pick her up. Well, that's a failing of communication.
There was a lot of criticism, if I remember correctly, about basically how they handled everything with her. Just a bit insensitive, not terribly thorough.
So that miscommunication is one of the most heartbreaking points in the story. Latrice was not unreachable. She could have shown up any time, but they just did not inform her of it. So Mitrice was not a person with no one willing to come get her. Her mother was actively calling, she was actively concerned, and she was offering a safer option than just sending her daughter off into the darkness of Malibu. And yet that information apparently did not become the deciding factor that it could have been. Inside the station, there were more warning signs. The arresting deputy did not include Mitrice's odd behavior at the restaurant in the official police report. Later, a jailer said in a deposition that she was unaware of the mental health concerns. But according to the Los Angeles Times, video from the jail cell area showed Mitrice pulling strangely on the cell's steel mesh shortly before her release. That video later became part of the controversy, especially because the family questioned how much the department knew, when they knew it, and what was shared. You're just nodding at me. Thank you.
What would you like me to do? You don't like when I interrupt.
Okay, easy, everybody. Let's relax. Let's relax.
I'm relaxed.
Take a breath.
What should I be doing? I won't nod anymore.
Tensions are high, everyone. Tensions are high. If I may continue at around...
You surely can.
At around 12:15 a.m., Mitrice was reportedly told that she could voluntarily remain at the station until morning. She declined this. She signed a promise to appear in court and was released shortly after midnight. Now, would you, knowing if you were in this situation, You knew you weren't going to, let's say you knew you were not going to have your cell phone. You weren't going to have your wallet.
And we do know that those things dawned on her.
No, but I don't know if we know that.
Okay.
Would you prefer to just stay in the jail until morning, or would you still be like, get me the hell out of here? I don't care. I'll do what I got to do.
Well, that's the thing, though. She couldn't, they like didn't give her a phone call, or that's only if you're getting like, what do you say?
Well, I mean, I think it's crazy that they didn't give her a phone call, but what I'm saying is, I'm just saying, if let's pretend they don't. If you just had the option of, you can stay in jail till the morning.
Right. I get your question. I just meant, so like you're saying it, that there was zero possibility of outside communication.
We'll say that for this scenario, yes.
I think I would stay. Seeing what it looks like out there, it's not rural exactly, but it kind of is.
I feel like I would do the same thing.
I don't want to be there.
Well, of course not.
I don't trust these people, but and you know, I think it's just hard to gauge with her because I think there was like a mental health emergency going on. So like, who knows how she was perceiving things, if she was even thinking of like later consequences, or what am I going to do once I get out there? Or like, yep, I'll be fine, or whatever. Because if I remember the way it looks out there, like you're not seeing homes like around here. You're not in terms of like population density. Like you're walking for quite a while and not finding any, you're not seeing anything. It's not that kind of like land out there or whatever. I just don't think it would be safe. And this was evening.
I agree. 12:15 a.m.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think be too much of a scaredy cat.
Well, so we obviously all know she declined to stay.
Yeah.
So she signed a promise, like I said, to appear in court. She was released after midnight. Different reports place the release time between 12:28 a.m. to 12:40 a.m. But the basic fact is clear that Mitrice walked out of the Malibu Lost Hill station in the middle of the night without her car, without her phone, and without her wallet. The Los Angeles County Office of Inspector General later summarized the core issue, which was Mitrice was released into an unfamiliar area with no car, money, or cell phone, and her family filed a missing person report shortly after this. That the same report noted that she was never considered for a mental health evaluation despite very bizarre behavior at the restaurant when she was picked up. Anything?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. No, that I guess. Yeah. I'm just thinking, I guess they did do things like that back then. I was going to say, like, was that too long ago where there really wasn't as much of there probably wasn't as much of a focus on like a mental health evaluation being done back then compared to now. But I guess like, even if there wasn't back then as much as now, it wasn't just done for the hell of it. Like like what you just said, just how her behavior was right before she came in. It wasn't like she got picked up, she just wouldn't pay her bill, she was calm and fine and nothing weird was happening, and then they're arresting her for not paying.
Defrauding an innkeeper.
Right. But like the whole talk of Mars, like shit was going on that was clearly questionable. Therefore, you would have thought something.
Ergo.
Some kind of an eval would have taken place.
I
yes.
agree. So this is where the story becomes, well, it just gets quieter because she leaves and the official record becomes pretty thin. There's no clear video of where she went to next. There's no confirmed ride. There's no cell phone call or no phone call that solves any of the timeline. There's no final message that explains her state of mind. So now several hours later, around 6:30 a.m., there was a reported sighting in the Monte Nido area. Oh, Monte Nido. Oh, jeez. Good God. Ay. Okay.
I almost spit out my tea.
A resident, former KTLA news anchor, Bill Smith, reportedly saw a woman in his backyard. Well, you would have lost your mind.
Absolutely. I do remember listening to this part thinking, I don't know what I would do because I would be so...
Cry. Drop to the floor.
Yes, actually. I think that one. Like, I would not... I would not be well.
I'm aware. I didn't even tell you this,
Oh,
but
God.
this is absolutely chill-worthy to you. When I was camping, I came home and my door was open by accident. It mustn't have clicked.
Unlocked or
No, like open. So that was unfortunate.
your front
Yeah.
door. Are you kidding me right now?
No. I'm sure it was open because the mailman put the stuff in the slot and it probably unclicked open then. But
You know what, man? Good for you that you
Thank
could
you.
think of that as probably what happened. I would have called the police and had them look before I went in.
the cats were walking around like completely normal.
Right.
And you know who wasn't here, so
Right. I don't like any of that
I'm just
story.
saying that's chill-worthy to you.
It sure is. Did you arrive back?
Excuse me?
Did you arrive back in the dark, no less?
No.
Still, did you? I'm sure I know the answer to this. Did you do a sweep of the house? Closet, under beds.
Closet. I thought you were underwear. No, I didn't.
You did not do that.
No.
So in theory, someone could be in here.
Absolutely.
In all the closets. There could be multiple people in the closets. All sorts of things.
I suppose. We'll find out. All right, so anyway, he sees her in the backyard.
Wow.
So when he asked if she was okay, she said that she was resting. He calls the police. That sighting, if it was her, places her several miles from the station in the early morning hours in a canyon area neighborhood that would have been difficult and disorienting to reach on foot, especially at night.
But not to say it's impossible. Like in terms of when she
Not to
left
say that.
the restaurant to when he saw her, if it was her, it was doable.
Well,
doable.
not the restaurant, but the police station.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Yes.
all right.
The police station. It would make sense with the time frame.
It's possible.
Okay.
So you're telling me there's a chance. Yes. Searchers followed.
What?
Searches followed, but they didn't find her. Her disappearance drew public attention, protests, media coverage, criticism of the sheriff's department. Her family believed from the beginning that something had gone terribly wrong, and they questioned how a young woman who may have been in mental distress could be released under those circumstances. The case also became part of a broader conversation about how law enforcement handles people who appear to be in crisis, especially black women, and especially when the situation does not fit neatly into a simple criminal category. So now, in January 2010, several months after she vanished, the sheriff's department conducted a large search in Malibu Canyon involving hundreds of trained search and rescue volunteers. Still, nothing was found. Later searches by private citizens and supporters also failed to locate her. The canyon remained silent. Then, what's happening?
I just spilled my seltzer all over my knee. I don't even know how it happened.
All right, well, moving on.
Sorry.
It's every time.
It really is. Sorry.
Oh, still nothing was found. Okay, so later, private citizens and supporters, they failed to locate her. The canyon remained silent. Then, August 9th, 2010, nearly 11 months after she disappeared, park rangers find human remains in a remote ravine. Again, another ravine.
I know.
In Malibu Canyon. Dental records later confirm what her family had feared, that the remains were Mitrice Richardson. Calling this the crime scene is kind of complicated, though, because her death has not officially been ruled a homicide. A more accurate phrase is the recovery scene. But that recovery scene became one of the most controversial parts of the case. Her remains were found in a rugged ravine in a remote area. Reports described the remains as decomposed or skeletal, and authorities were unable to determine a cause of death. The handling of her remains sparked outrage. I mean, these people are not doing a good job.
No, I mean, it just doesn't feel like that much important. I don't know. I mean, they were doing the searches, but from my memory, a lot of it was driven by the family, not like the police department is like, we've got to, get on this. Like, it didn't have that vibe. I don't know.
So a coroner's official. Oh, a guy who worked at the coroner's office. He criticized the sheriff's deputies for moving her remains before anybody could take a look at it.
I remember that because I remember that.
CBS News. I remember that because I remember that.
I was going to say that there was, but this doesn't make sense to say right now, but that there were, oh my God, I was just about to say to you, there are like strings in the trees. No, they're in your house in front of the windows.
String cheese.
In front of the, whatever. So my memory had something to do, I'm trying to think now. Something about like her remains, but then there was talk of like animals and like, I feel like now I'm mixing cases up. But something about with how much time had passed, where she was found, like did animals sort of interfere at all? But
that could be almost every case we've done.
True. Yeah, true. How would we ever narrow that down? All right, I'm done.
So CBS News reported that the assistant chief coroner, Ed Winter, said he had been very clear that the remains should not be moved and that he was shocked to learn they were taken from the scene, which is very irresponsible, in my opinion.
Right.
Sheriff's officials argued that the poor communication, fading daylight, terrain, and concern about animals disrupting
there we are
the remains were factors in this decision.
I knew something about
Why the
animals.
hell can't somebody just stay there then?
That actually came up, and I feel like they were saying that nobody would, but then he said, I forget, somebody like
Pop open a Coke.
They were gonna offer it.
Put on a podcast.
But because
not that any of this is funny.
No,
PS.
it is not, and we are not at all implying
We're not, no.
that it is.
But, I mean, that's not the hardest thing to do, is just stick around anyway.
I think, though, part of because the terrain was so horrendous, that was part of the decision making. I'm not sure, and I'm not defending anybody here. I don't know. But I think I have a memory of that.
So anyway, this decision matters because death scenes are obviously fragile. Every position, every bone, surrounding object, layers of soil, all of that can matter. So even if the final autopsy would have been inconclusive, the coroner's office said that the investigation could have been more thorough. Well, yeah. And for her family, who already believed that the system had failed her, this was just another one like compounding on the first thing. Like, you already failed her and now you're failing her again. Now, concerns grew sharper when additional bones were later found in the same ravine. In February 2011, authorities found 8 bones believed to belong to her, including fragments possibly from ribs, fingers, and a wrist. The Los Angeles Times reported that her mother had previously found a finger bone while visiting the area, which led the family to argue that the original recovery had not been thorough enough. Yeah. Imagine for a moment that, you know, you lose your daughter, you go to the scene and you just find a piece of her finger bone. Insane.
I know. I'm not sure I would even know what I was looking at. I mean, you know what you're
Well, I don't know if she
for.
knew what she was looking at either, but
yeah, you're right.
So this was proof in their eyes that the people in charge did not handle the case with any kind of care, especially the kind of care that it deserved. Authorities said that they saw no evidence of foul play, but they also could not determine how she died. Her cause of death remains undetermined. That unresolved medical conclusion leaves a terrible space where every theory can grow because there's no confirmed answer to close the door on anything. So legally, there was no criminal trial for her death. No one's been charged with killing her. No person has been convicted in connection with her disappearance or her death. Instead, the legal aftermath centered mostly on civil lawsuits and official reviews. Mitrice's parents sued Los Angeles County and the Sheriff's Department, alleging negligence and emotional distress related to her release and the handling of the case. In 2011, Los Angeles County approved a $900,000 settlement with her parents.
Wow. So
which
they freaking won.
I feel like it should have been more than that.
I wonder how they came up with that figure, you know?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm disgusted by it. Reports indicate that each parent received $450,000. The settlement did not answer what happened to her, and it did not amount to a criminal finding against anybody. Official reviews produced results that many found unsatisfying. The Office of Independent Review concluded that deputies acted appropriately. They did act appropriately under the law and the policy at that time, stating that there was no legal justification to deprive her of her freedom. Once she was eligible for her release, why the hell wouldn't you just let her out? Says them. However, okay.
I was just going to say, like, in theory, correct. And I suppose...
Well put.
I
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I guess they're trying to say... Or no. I guess they're almost implying in my eyes of, like, there was nothing to see here, man. Like... There was no mental health.
They went by the book.
Concern, right, or emergency. Like, far be it for us to hold people longer. Like, well, aren't they saints? Meanwhile, I don't know. At the end of the day, they didn't know what was going to happen. I get that. No one could have predicted this. Yet, the way things looked at the time of release, surely did not look good.
Surely.
Did not look promising.
So, later oversight materials also acknowledged the unsafe nature of these circumstances. A Los Angeles County report on the safe release from county jails stated that Mitrice's release shortly before midnight into an unfamiliar area with no car, money, or cell phone, that could be deemed an unreasonable and unsafe release. Correct.
Right.
Correctamundo.
Right.
The same report noted that policy changes after the case, including delayed release options and a more careful consideration for female prisoners released between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Well, that's very nice of them to look into.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I was just going to say, like, again, maybe this wasn't a thing back then, but if they didn't have the staff, time, resources to... I guess this doesn't totally make sense because if they kept her, that's that. There's no other, I guess, avenue. But like I was going to say, if there was some entity or organization that they could have contacted, like, this is the deal. This is what's happening with her. We're releasing her, but could you follow up with her? Could you transport her where she needs to go? Like, they're, of course, not going to offer.
Taxis.
Yeah, but that also makes me...
Ubers.
Yeah, but that makes me nervous too, where they have no commitment to her. Like, okay, great, they're picking her up. Who knows if she's going to cooperate and get in the vehicle? Who knows if she's going to get in the vehicle, go down half a mile?
Well, it would be nice to at least have the option.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how Susanna Kaysen was taken to...
Susanna Kaysen.
Taken to wherever, I forget what it was called.
Yeah, what was that called? I was going to say Girl Interrupted.
Well,
yes.
What
was the facility called? Something scary, I think. I should watch that later. That's a nice flick.
It is.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, so now in 2017, the California Attorney General's office concluded that there was insufficient evidence to support criminal charges against deputies or sheriff's officials. The inquiry looked at issues including the handling of the video from the station and the removal of Mitrice's remains. The Los Angeles Times reported that the Attorney General's office found no evidence that the video had been altered or tampered with and no evidence of criminal wrongdoing in the handling of the case. Mitrice's father strongly disagreed with the outcome and continued to maintain that his daughter had been killed. As of the most recent reliable reporting I could find, the case remains unsolved. In November of 2024, Los Angeles County increased the reward to $25,000 for information that could help solve Mitrice Richardson's case.
You know what I'm curious about? Obviously not a huge deal in light of everything that, we're talking about with this case, but I'm just curious, like, what prompted that? That many years later, haven't heard anything about this. Like, did something happen on their end that wasn't necessarily like, oh, we're going to go arrest somebody, or no, like, solidly it wasn't a homicide. It was just she died of... But, like, why this late in the game would you increase? What do you think? You know what I mean? Like, that
I would assume it's for looks. Like, what is that?
You think?
What's that called? Not presentation.
I was going to say good faith. Like, for them to give this impression that they care.
Right.
They haven't forgotten about this.
Yeah, like, it's good PR. like, hey, we still care. Here's
Hey.
25,000
Yeah.
to somebody who's never going to come forward.
They're not.
You know what I'm
They're
saying?
not going to have to pay out.
Right. It could be 50 million.
Maybe that'll be in 5 more years.
So I'm just saying that is my opinion. But
Yeah.
I mean, basically that's where we are in the case. I mean, as you are well aware. So, needless to say, let that other podcast know Chillworthy sent you.
I was thinking that.
And I think that'll be it.
We're paying it forward.
Something like that. So, of course, may she rest in peace.
I was just going to say that. And
her family.
Yes.
Hopefully they have found some type of peace.
I'm sure they haven't.
Probably not.
I'm sure they will never recover from this, as they shan't.
Well, as always, we end on a positive note.
I was going to say, I do think Mitrice suffered in various ways leading up to, during. I just hope it was not prolonged, and I hope she has found peace now, wherever she is.
Thank you.
Sure.
On that note, everyone, until next time,
Stay safe.
and stay chill.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. You've just listened to Chillworthy. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode. While we strive to keep our discussions engaging and lighthearted, we also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the real lives and events that are at the heart of these stories.
We try to approach each topic with a sense of curiosity and respect, fully aware of the impact these events have had on the individuals and their loved ones. Our goal is to honor their memories by keeping their stories alive and shedding light on the mysteries that surround them.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and don't forget to join us on the next episode of Chillworthy.